networks. There's an obvious attempt to create instability in our country at this time. We don't need to mince words about it. And there's a trajectory. First, there was a group that wanted to demonstrate with weapons. Then there was this group that said they wanted to demonstrate at night, or to demonstrate from the evening throughout the night till the next morning. And the police raised obvious security questions that it will be difficult to, this is even daytime, broad daylight at Obra Sport here in Accra. You have people attacking police people in this manner. Can you imagine what would have happened at night if indeed some of these things were allowed to continue throughout the night? So, I mean, Paul, even at this time, I think it's obvious that...
I think your recommendation to the police, I'll come back to it, but look at this video. Now, this is where the demonstrators are saying that the police did a blockade, preventing them from going on a particular route.
Because the courts, if your team can pause here,
Pause it.
Just before here, because the courts approved a particular route, which is actually at the back of the demonstrators, to go through Adabraka, Farisco.
Yes. And then from there to TUC.
We are told that the demonstrators said no, they rather want to come this way, which was not part of
So this is coming back to Circle?
This is coming rather towards Nima Police Station. So this is where the police are.
So they want to come through Nima Police Station and turn over there to Jubilee House.
In flagrant disregard of the court order
of the approved
route. Now you'll find, if they continue playing, you'll find that this is the first row of police persons in helmet, riot gear, and then you'll find a second. So now you see where the tear gas is.
The tear gas you were talking about.
You see the tear gas? So
now, the tear gas, is it not coming from within the police?
I don't know, but according to what the police are telling us, tear gas was first fired towards them, into the second group. Because you notice that those with tear gas or those with, may I say, accoutrement for policing are in the front lines. But this appears to come into where the second group of police persons are. I'm sure they'll have room to do a detailed investigation and go all of this. But my commendation tonight is to the police for their professionalism, their heroism, their good temperament.
The tear gas is all still showing.
Yes. And this is...
But this tear gas appears to be coming from within the police.
So now you see one fired from within the police in response. But when you start the shots, you can clearly see...
The police trying to resist the tear gas.
The police trying to resist what is ongoing there. Be that as it may, I'm sure they'll have room to do a detailed investigation of what has
Do they have cameras with them, the police?
My understanding is that they have
the police have been asked to advance towards the demonstrators.
Yes, to stop them from
Is that not intimidating demonstrators?
My understanding is that these persons are attempting to come this way, and the police are working to get them back off this route onto their
From what we see, the demonstrators should turn around and continue that way.
Continue the demonstration.
And the police will be behind them.
Yes, and support them as they go through their demonstration. But it appears that they want to do otherwise. Be that as I mentioned, they'll have to do their detailed investigation. But tonight, I think what we can do is to commend the police for their professionalism, for their sense of duty. My heart goes out to the police women injured in the line of duty today. There are substantive issues that we have to discuss, which we can discuss about the Ghanaian economy, the cost of living, the global challenges, how it's impacting Ghanaians, but that can obviously not be mixed with this kind of conduct and behavior, especially at a time when security is of such importance in the West African sub-region. And we are praying the population that these are times when people like to exploit fault lines that already exist for their own nefarious activities. I think just yesterday there was a terrorist attack in Benin.
As close as Benin?
As close as Benin. And we've been sounding the alarm bells that we need to ensure that we don't create room for persons to infiltrate our ranks and do anything dastardly. This is the time where it is obvious that some persons want to create some sort of instability.
But that's the contentious part that they're going to argue with you, that they don't want to create instability. They were exercising their rights.
No, exercising your right is when you demonstrate in accordance with the Public Order Act, in accordance with the court order. I mean, I was just reading, I think, Section 3 of the Public Order Act this evening at 491. I found interesting parts. Take Section 3. It says, where at a special event, any damage is caused to any public property. Look at the police buses. And the interesting thing about the police vehicles is that there's a police riot vehicles which have protection and fortified glass around it. You will see in footage from, I think, Joy News and other channels, protesters stoning those ones. Those ones are not damaged. Then you will see the quote-unquote ordinary buses that brought the police to the venue for them to disembark, to come and protect and serve these people, now get attacked. Glass is broken. This is public property. glass is broken. Indeed, one of the policemen told me, he's a driver of one of the vehicles, that
that's an example of a police.
Yeah, that they attempted to set fire to one of the buses while he was in it.
Oh.
Yeah. This is one of the policemen, I tell you no lie, who gave this account to us.
In the hospital?
In the hospital. He is still on a hospital bed.
He was sitting in the bus?
Yes, he is the driver of one of the buses. And he says there was an attempt to set fire to the bus while he was driving it. He had to maneuver out of the place very quickly, even with the broken glasses, etc., etc. But my point I was making is, for example, Section 3.1 says, where at any special event, any damage is caused to any public property, the organizers or any other persons found to have been responsible for the damage caused shall be liable to pay for the cost of the damage. It goes on to talk about the fact that you could even be imprisoned for up to about a year or some pecuniary fines there. These are not light things. And I think that it's a time for sober reflection so that we don't mix the substantive conversation that we need to have as a country with illegal conduct of this nature, injury of police persons, attack on police persons. Because when we do that, then we even lose the substance of the real conversation we should be having.
So what are the next steps? I mean, so all this is now within the hands of the police, isn't it? But so that tomorrow there's a demonstration scheduled.
I do not know exactly what the next line of action will be, especially for the police. As at the time we left the police hospital, the police POMAB, I think they call it police management something, POMAB. They were going into a meeting to take stock of the latest assessments as they have and to make some determinations which they will then inform higher authority and the whole country about.
But the demonstrators are concerned about one thing, that they wanted to present a petition to Jubilee House. Earlier, there had been a demonstration that the petition was allowed to present to Jubilee House from Adom-Otchere.
Yes.
They were concerned about why they are not being allowed to present the petition to Jubilee House, and they want the government to come and take it from them at Independence Square.
Well, I'm not a security person, but I think that the antecedents of all of these demonstrations factor into the kind of analysis and assessment that the security persons do. Yes, there was a demonstration led by the General Secretary of the NDC, my good friend Otukuno, and senior members of the NDC. I do not recall very worrisome security antecedents to that. Indeed, I recall the camaraderie at the forecourt of the Jubilee House, where my good friend, we call him Carlos Von Brazi, a Dumwa bossman. Congratulations to him, just called to the bar a few days ago. He was designated to come and receive the petition. I recall the camaraderie between him and the persons who were presenting the petition. But you notice that in recent months, the antecedents to some of these demonstrations, especially within the context of the security environment in which we are, have not been the same. Just a few weeks ago, we had a major conversation about people planning a demonstration with guns and their own security persons looking to take over the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, ostensibly for a certain national announcement. If you have been a student of security and governance in this country, that is the DNA of an illegal taking over of power in this country. It's happened several times. You put that aside, look at this recent one where the organizers of this demonstration, for example, talk about seeking to do an overnight demonstration.
What time were they proposing to end? 3 to what time?
My understanding is that they wanted initially to do overnight and later wanted to say...
starts in the night, like a vigil?
No, to start 3 and then through the night till the next day. That's my understanding. And then later I hear they said 10 p.m. And later I hear they said 8 p.m. And the police said no. The kind of intelligence they have does not allow them to police when the sun is down. They will need to have visibility of everything that is going on so that they can protect both you, the demonstrators, and your property, and the lives and property of other persons. And so they cannot allow nightfall for you to be doing this. If that is anything to go by, what we have seen today clearly suggests to us that whatever intelligence they had is correct. There are photos on some of the online platforms where you find people pouring what is believed to be petrol or diesel or some sort of chemical that inflames on tires and burning them. It means that these are people who came to this demonstration with tires, with...
Oh, that's serious.
Yes. There's photos and videos of them with tires.
Yeah, I've seen the burning photos. I've seen some of them.
I mean, those were not tires that appear to have been removed from vehicles there and then.
Yeah,
somebody
here's
somebody
an example of that, all the way at the
premeditated
back.
and brought tires and petrol and matches to what is supposed to be a peaceful demonstration. The kind of stones that were showing up there, so you see.
Yeah, but where are they getting the tires from?
Exactly.
But there are many organizers at Circle, isn't it?
Well, but this is premeditated. Something must have happened for you to go and bring this.
Because if you're going on a demonstration, you don't need tie.
The petrol. You don't need petrol for a demonstration.
No, you don't.
You don't need matches for a demonstration to express your thoughts about something. So if what we are now seeing is anything to go by, then whatever intelligence the police suggested they had, for which reason they could not allow a demonstration beyond sunset, where they will not have visibility, is now to be strongly believed. And I say strongly that we should do well to separate the substantive issues we want to discuss from these illegalities, these attempts to destabilize the Republic. Else we would even miss the opportunity to have what would have been a good conversation.
Do you also support the call for condemnation by the leadership of politics in this country? Parliament?
I do.
Speaker?
Also, and I commend all of those who spoke up against the previous attempt to do a demonstration
With
ammunition and to take over Ghana Broadcasting Corporation as part of that. I commend all persons, including persons in the opposition, who openly condemned that. That was a mark of responsibility and patriotism. And I think that same spirit is tonight invoked. Anybody who believes in the red, gold, green, who believes in our democracy, should condemn what is happening. These attacks on police women. You should see them. Maybe you should visit them in the police hospital. Police women, young women excited to get a job in the police service, came there to protect and serve. Being attacked by persons who requested them to literally come and support them to exercise their constitutional rights. This needs to be condemned. And then we should be able to ensure that the persons responsible for this are prosecuted and are made to face the full rigors of the law. And then whatever substantive issues need to be discussed, we can have a civil, decent discussion on those substantive issues.